And look, so we're talking about third round picks the Niners have used and what they get out of them. They love Upton Stout, but he hasn't really shown much yet. They seem to not like Nick Martin. They're giving up on him immediately. And they've had a history of giving up on third round picks immediately. Ty Davis Price, Trey Sermon. Maybe they're just not good at drafting in round 3, which brings us to Jaelen Phillips. The Eagles traded a third round pick for Jaelen Phillips. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. It's a third round pick. You drafted Jake Moody in round 3, Cam Latu. I mean, you don't really value that round that highly. And yet you didn't trade for Jaelen Phillips. God knows why. He was really good in his debut with the Eagles against the Packers. What do you think of people who say Jaelen Phillips wouldn't have saved this defense?
Yeah, I mean, there's just an awful lot of people stumbling over their own legs and feet to compliment the Niners on not doing much at the deadline. And it's like, listen, sycophants, they're not going to be your best friend. Okay, so just stop trying. Okay, you're never getting the invite to Kyle and John's house. You're not going to be
happening.
Their buddy. They're not going to ever like you or want to be around you. So just why bother? Just quit. Just quit. The bottom line is, we were told that no one player could help a defense. Jaelen Phillips against Green Bay last night, 8 pressures, 19.4 pressure rate, 7 hurries, 6 tackles, 2 quarterback hits, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, stuffed Jacobs on 4th and 1. But he can't help you. And by the way, if you offered your third, Jaelen Phillips would be a Niner, because the Dolphins would have taken the Niners third over the Eagles third all day, every day, 7 days a week. Because they know they would have gambled that the Eagles were going to be better and that the Niner pick would be higher. But the Niners didn't want to move that pick because they obviously didn't believe that they had much, legs in this year. I mean, there's a lot of, hey, nobody believes in us, most notably yourselves. No, it's us against the world. Nobody believes in us. Most of the people that don't believe in you are inside the building.
It just seems to me they're going to say they say they want to hold on to their picks. Picks are precious. There's a reason. I think they want to stop spending a lot of money on players who they didn't draft. They want to stop spending on the Javon Hargraves and the Leonard Floyds and the Devondre Campbells and the Travarius Wards. I think they're out of that market. They're out of that business. They've spent all their money on their own guys, Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk, and Jaelen Phillips. It's just a big investment. And this team feels like they've invested enough in football for this year. They also got soccer teams to invest in. Stop being greedy. And if you bring in Jaelen Phillips and spend all that money, yes, it increases your Super Bowl odds, but does it guarantee a Super Bowl? Obviously not. So it just comes down to how much do the Yorks want to win a Super Bowl. And I think by doing nothing, that's an indicator that it's not, something that they need to do this year. It's not a burning desire for them this year, if ever.
Keep building. I mean, did you win the Super Bowl the year you got CMC? No. Did you win the Super Bowl the year you got Trent Williams? No. Or were those bad deals? No, they were great deals. If John Lynch was sitting there telling everybody, the great things he's done as the general manager, the first thing he would talk about are those 2 trades. And then neither of them resulted in a Super Bowl. So were they not worth making? I mean, it's
And if Brock's as good as Kittle says he is, you heard Kittle after the game. He's like, we're going to score so many points. We're so good. Brock's so good. Man, if you really think that Brock is a legit franchise quarterback who can lead this team to like 30 to 40 points a game, then Jaelen Phillips absolutely would have helped, because you wouldn't need a top 10 defense in the league. You could get by with like a top 16, top half, and a good pass rush, because you're going to be playing with the lead so much. If you really believe the offense was Super Bowl caliber, you make that trade. But they didn't.
Well, the real reason you make that trade, in my opinion, is that you look at what you've done in the secondary. You've got young safeties, young corners, tons of youth back there. How are you going to develop those guys? I mean, did anybody else watch the 4th quarter of this game? Stafford roasted the Niners secondary. Every time they had a motion, guys were just lost. He got them turned around to the point where in the 4th quarter, these guys were arguing with each other. They're pointing fingers at each other. They're losing confidence in one another. They're losing confidence in themselves. When you have young DBs and you have no pass rush up front, it's just a matter of time before they lose confidence. And once you don't have confidence, you've got nothing. So to me, they needed to make an addition of some kind up front to protect their draft capital investment on the back end, which is significant. And they didn't do it. So now we're going to find out how these young DBs develop.
And like you didn't have to trade for Jaelan Phillips. There's other guys out there like Draymond Jones, but I think if you had traded for someone at the deadline that day after Michael Williams had gotten injured, because you traded for Keon White before Michael Williams got injured, losing Michael Williams was a big blow, considering who's already out. If you made a trade, you tell not just your fans but your team, we believe in you. You're 6-3. You're fighting like hell. Yeah, you lost 2 Hall of Famers, but you know what? You got something. There is something special with this group, and we're investing. It's your year. That's the message you send to the locker room. I think that message does something for players. And if you do nothing, you send the opposite message, which is, I know you guys are 6-3 and you fought really hard for this and we appreciate it, but you're not going anywhere. And we know that. We're not as good as our record. So sorry, we sort of have our eyes on 2026, but go get them.
Who's the best pass rusher on their line right now? It's probably Keon White and Cleveland Farrell, and they just showed up the other day outside of Huff, of course. Huff is the guy. But I mean, outside of Huff, there are other pass rushers. Keon White, it's like, one guy's not going to make a difference. Really? You traded for Keon White? He had the only sack.
He's important. He's their second best pass rusher right now, Keon White.
Cleveland Farrell and Keon White combined had more pressures than everybody not named Huff on the entire team. So, I mean, it's like these are guys that you just got off the street. You didn't need necessarily Trey Hendrickson, but you did need somebody, and you got nobody. And so now it's a matter of what can you do? Robert Saleh in this last game blitzed 54% of the time. That's more than the Niners have blitzed in the last 9 years. They've never blitzed that much. Why? Because they've got if you blitz, you give defined reads, and you got one less guy in coverage, so on and so forth. So it's not a smart thing to do. But if you don't have any rush up front in a rush and cover league, you're just surefire death. So he blitzed 54% of the time, and Stafford crushed the blitz, threw for multiple touchdowns, almost 200 yards, completed like 75% against it. That won't be the case every week, but man, I mean, that's where they're at. They have to blitz to get any pressure at all.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And again, if Kittle's right, and let's say he articulated how the team feels, like, look, Max done well, but there's a reason we're only scoring 21 points a game, and he's kind of part of the reason. And when Brock comes back and Ricky comes back, like, you're going to see this offense go to another level and reach its full potential. And he really said they're going to score a ton of points, and that's how they're going to win games. If that's how you feel, like you're going to be scoring 30 to 40 points a game and playing with leads, and you don't need Fred Warner. All you need on defense is a pass rush, because you're going to be playing with the freaking lead, and you don't have the pass rush. If you brought in Jaelan Phillips, you have Huff, Phillips, and Keon White. That's a pass rush. It's not the best one, but it's a good one, and you can win that way. But right now, as currently constituted, it really doesn't matter how many points the Niners are going to score in a playoff game. They can't stop anyone.
They can't stop.
Would put up 30 on them.
The one thing that, old defensive coach I worked with in the Canadian League used to say to me, and this guy worked in the NFL for years, he's like, don't ever forget this. The NFL is a rush and cover game on defense in that order. It's not a cover and rush game. It's a rush and cover game. You have to have the rush. You got to build your rush first and then make sure you have good coverage behind it. But you don't build your coverage and then have no rush, because then, there's no such thing.
No one can cover for 4 seconds.
You could have Deion Sanders and Eric Wright, who are maybe the greatest corners in Niner history. You could have them out there right now in their prime, and they would get roasted with this rush.